Welcome to Mental Health Matters podcast, where we uncover stories about hope, healing, and humanity. I'm your host, Dr. Loveness Mabunu. Today, I'm speaking with Sharon Pilgrim, someone who turned compassion into action. She's a nurse clinician by profession, the program manager with Montreal Healthcare Networks. She's also the founder of Afro Canadian Philanthropic Initiatives. Sharon, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So, today we are talking about how she was inspired to start the organization to give back the community and also the challenges they face, as well as how it transformed the community with giving back. Welcome, Sharon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Would you please tell our audience what inspired you to start the organization Afro Canadian Philanthropic
Mm.
Initiative?
My inspiration, just starting a charity, became a natural way for me to extend my compassion, and make a broader impact and equally create a pathway for me to live in my purpose. So just that desire to want to be present and to service others.
Was there a special experience that made you passionate about giving back?
A special experience. I have to contribute a lot of that to my mom, Marguerite Pilgrim. She instilled in me the power of giving back and giving selfishly. I often share a story about she was a single parent and she had a friend who came over to the home and wanted her last can of milk. Literally, it was the last can of milk in her pantry. And my mom gave it to her. And I questioned, I was like, Mom, why did you give her your last can of milk? And what she said to me is that God will provide.
Oh, yes.
And I thought to myself, and she's lived her life selfishly. So that's, really was the first catalyst of me witnessing the power of giving to others.
Okay, so actually, your mom was sacrificing, even if you have the last penny or a little bit in the house, but she extended her hand to giving other
Exactly.
people, helping other people to make sure. And like as you said, she would say, God will provide. You never lack when you give.
Exactly. And and I've always carried that with me, you know.
Oh, that's interesting. So, how has giving back shaped the mental health of the community that you serve?
I think that when we think about giving back as a receiver of acts of kindness, it restores hope and faith in humanity. As the receiver, it reminds us that kindness and goodness still exist. I think also too it creates a sense of belonging and helps you to feel seen, valued, connected, and this reduces the feelings of isolation and creates a sense of belonging, and that's key to avoid. That's an antidepressant, right? When you belong to something, there's community behind it, and also to reduces stress, emotional burden, lightens your load a little bit, knowing that someone has thought about you and their action demonstrates that you were in their forethought, right? And it builds self-worth. If I think about self-worth, we have one of our projects, the Phoenix Projects, where we collect school supplies and school bags, and we distribute them throughout the Caribbean and Canada. I think to date now we've close to about 1,000 school bags that we've given out. But when I speak about self-worth, each bag contains a note of encouragement for that child. So when they read that note, what we hope is that it's like an anchor for them to know that this is your self-worth. Someone's thinking about you. These are words of affirmation as you go through your journey in life.
You said it right well that giving also brings a sense of belonging
Yes.
and self-worthy and also relieves stress because we know if children are lacking, for example, like you say, you provide school bags to the students or kids during the school opening, we know some families lack the resources. And if you give a school bag, you are giving also hope to that kid to
Exactly.
say, I'm giving it back to you so you can go to school. It's also relieve stress so that they would go start well because they know somebody gave me, I was lacking, but now I have a school bag with all
Exactly.
the things that I need for school.
Exactly.
And it brings their self-worthy as well to know that there are some people who actually are kind and generous enough to help. And as you also mentioned, the importance of that school bag, that besides the school supplies that you put inside, you also put a note inside the bag.
Yes.
That reminds me of one of the events that you attended that I hosted. When you came as a guest speaker,
Yes.
you gave those little small cards,
Yes.
and that card you gave me, that was 2023. I still have it in my
Oh.
house. I put it on the side of my lamp, and every time I read that word, the words that you wrote are so inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
That motivates me to be who I am. It inspired me that I have to come out of the shell and to be who I am today, sitting right here in front of the camera, where I never used to feature because I always used to be someone at the back end. But those words, they inspired me throughout the years. And even
Mm-hmm.
up to now, when I read them, I get the inspiration. So I'll vow for that importance that you are doing. And I commend you for that because sometimes you never know. You may think it's a simple thing, but
It's
you
not.
never know how
Exactly.
inspiring it is that
Exactly.
someone will just read that message and they get motivated to do something better than what they couldn't do before.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I'm actually humbled that you said that you still have the message I wrote. And I think that this idea of just manifesting and rippling throughout our community. So we also do that with our Christmas gifts. When we give Christmas gifts every year out to children in the community who perhaps their families are lacking, and it lets the child know that there's still magic. Something magical has just happened. I've received a Christmas gift. That idea as a child. I had great Christmases, and that feeling cannot be captured in words, but to feel it and to be able to pay it forward to the children in our community so they can have that moment, especially the kids whose families perhaps cannot provide, the Christmas gifts during that season time. Yeah.
You are right, because growing up, I knew that we used to have gifts that we were expecting from our mothers,
Yeah.
that every Christmas they would buy us toys, gifts, or clothes. But you find that there are some families that would need to provide for their children, but they lack. And
Yes.
what you are doing now to give gifts to those families, it also gives hope and joy for those kids, that they will also be part of those who we know, we say the have and the have nots. So once
Yes.
they receive that gift that they are looking forward to during Christmas,
Yeah.
it gives them joy.
It does, and it twinkle in their eyes. And I've witnessed children opening up the gifts. It's so magical. Like it's for me. It's great. Even then the one event where Santa Claus was present and he distributed the gifts, and that's part of that group. It was a magical. The kids, their names were called, they got their presents, they opened it up. It was almost like, this is for me, really? Like, it's beautiful. I love it.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Why do you think giving feels good for the brain and the heart? Actually, talking scientifically as well, with your experience as a nurse clinician.
I think that for the giver, um, it al- it provides like a sense of purpose for you, and it creates meaningful and fulfillment through contributing to something bigger than yourself.
Mhm.
you know and also we know that it's a boost. It boosts your mood, right? Because in happiness, it releases those feel good hormones. So definitely that's another added value for a giver. And I also say it reduces stress and anxiety because it gives you a moment to redirect your focus.
Mm-hmm.
So, and during that time and that redirection, um, it also acts to kind of lower your like cortisol levels and promote calmness, coming with that joy and that sense of peace, that you're helping someone other than yourself. And it allows us also to once again that strengthening social connections,
Yes.
right? We're
Yes.
fostering belonging, community,
Mm-hmm.
sense of purpose, and collectively, it's a force to be reckoned with. So it's nice to be part of that movement.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I resonate with that because every time when I help someone, for some reason, after I do something good by giving or being generous, and also, by the way, giving is not only like monetary,
No, exactly.
it's not only like material things. Sometimes you give your time to someone by helping them when they are in need.
Yes.
Sometimes you give your presence, just being there for someone who is lonely.
Yeah.
So there are different ways of giving. And most of the time, when I do something good or generous act of kindness to someone, I feel just relieved and I feel happy.
Hmm.
I will be like having joy within me that I've done something and I know I've made a difference to someone.
Right. And we do it selflessly,
Yes.
right? It's about, I mean, it feels wonderful, feels good. Like you say, it brings joy to yourself, but we
Mm-hmm,
also do it
mm-hmm,
selflessly,
mm-hmm.
right? So definitely. And I agree with you completely. Um, Giving back is not always in the form of something material or a monetary, like being present, taking that moment, even a quick call, a check-in,
Yes,
doing volunteer work. There's so many ways that one can pay it forward. You just
that's
have to
right.
find your path, what
Mm-hmm,
makes sense to you, and
mm-hmm.
create those opportunities
That's
for
right.
yourself. Yeah.
That's right. So when you help the children, like you say, you provide school bags and also give Christmas gifts,
Yeah.
how do you do it? Do you have like a teamwork of people who identify who is in need for them to get those gifts or the school bags?
So we do it really a lot by referral. So recently, this year for the Phoenix Project, we sent our school bags and supplies to St. Vincent. It was just that someone had reached out to me and said, "Hey, I heard you give out school bags in the Caribbean. I have an organization." So I spoke with that person, and their mission really aligns with our purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So they're impacting children within their community, to rise above their circumstance. And it was a perfect match. So we sent them to the Caribbean, to St. Vincent this year, but we also give locally as well. In the same process, I have community members who'll reach out to me and say they know a family or a community group. And once it's been identified, then we put them on our list and we make sure that that child or that family that they receive what they need for the school year.
Okay. I also read on your website that you
Yes.
also, besides the Afro-Canadian Philanthropic Initiative,
Yes.
that you also have Giving Back with Grayson.
Yeah. So that Giving Back with Grayson is the Christmas gifts. So I named it
Okay.
after my grandson.
Okay.
And the Phoenix Project is named after my little cousin. Because the idea is that I want to help them create their legacy and grow up in a space where giving back is natural. It's a part of who you are. And as they get older and they can take on this journey,
Yes.
they'll mold it into who they are and how they want to represent themselves. But I thought it was really important to name them after the youngest members in my family because that's where I find my inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
and they are the leaders of tomorrow.
Yes.
So, and that is that idea that how can I have that impact in the world? How can I change the life of one person? So Grayson's only 3. He has no idea,
Oh,
right? Phoenix is much older. She's 10. So, and her understanding as she grew up in the project changes every year. And for Grayson, he's not aware of the impact, but he will eventually.
yes.
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 Yeah.
So I like the idea that you got the teachings from your mom,
Yes.
you extended it to the community, but also you are passing it as a legacy within the family to Phoenix, to Grayson,
Yeah.
even though if they are not aware, but obvious when they grow up and if they are aware, they have that name attached to them, they
Exactly.
will also explore that
Exactly.
generosity and kindness to the community and abroad.
Yes, exactly. That's the idea. That's the idea, and I think that we have there's a ripple effect that occurs when you pay it forward, and you don't know that one act who's impacted by it, and how in turn they will repay it forward, right? And
Yes.
that's that idea. It's like that pond, that ripple effect. You throw the stone, and you see these ripples, and you don't realize the depth and width of your impact. Um, we also do blankets of warmth for the homeless, where we
Oh,
have blankets and we put essential items into packaging. And during the winter season, we go to the marginalized communities and we distribute the bundles of warmth. And I had my cousin works in the emergency, and she sent me a picture, and she's like, I'm just about to give one of the patients who came in who happened to be marginalized one of your
oh,
blankets of warmth. And I
wow.
just thought it's the gift that keeps giving.
Yes,
So
exactly. And now, with winter coming, especially locally here, a lot of homeless,
exactly,
uh, they need those blankets so that they will be warm because
exactly.
as we know, it's really cold here in Montreal.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
also very rewarding to be able to do that. And I have great supporters. I'm very blessed. I have people who surround me who believe in the
in the good
purpose
cause, yes.
and they contribute towards it, and it becomes it's collective. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not Sharon, it's the
Mm-hmm.
collective. And I always say that wouldn't be able to um I wouldn't have the capacity to give as much if I didn't have this collective.
It takes a
It
village.
takes a village,
Yes.
and I'm surrounded by an amazing village. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so grateful, that they're present and they want to contribute. And yeah, blessed, definitely blessed to have that.
We want to acknowledge all those collective family, the village who are supporting the organization
Mm,
and the good cause so that we keep on extending the generosity and kindness to our communities and abroad. We all know that giving sounds beautiful,
yes.
but it's not easy. Sometimes, especially when you start with a charitable nonprofit organization, it comes with challenges. Would you actually tell us, like, what kind of some of the challenges that you faced when you started the organization?
Some of the challenges I think is, first of all, just saying that you can do it,
Hmm.
believing in yourself that you got this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Taking that first step.
Hmm.
Also, too, I think one of the challenges is building your community around you to support the process, navigating aspects of the administrative aspects of it,
Hmm.
um, and having a good team because you have supporters, but you also have to have a team that's going to sit down and do the groundwork with you, map
Hmm.
out the plan. And
Hmm.
I'm very blessed because I have my cousin Katrina, who is
I
there
met
with you.
her
Met
before.
Katrina.
She's a wonderful person.
Exactly. And
Yes.
moments when I'm feeling like, can I get this done? Katrina's right there on my shoulder. You got this. Let's rethink the plan. Let's go. And I think those are the challenges in finding secure funding.
Hmm.
That's another challenge.
Hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes especially when you want to get the material like bags and supplies and blankets, some of them they need monetary funding.
Yes.
So if you lack enough funding, you might have the cause, and then sometimes it will be an impact. Do you ever sometimes do like fundraisings in case if you don't get like the government funding
So
that you would do fundraising to
so
fundraise for the
currently we don't
cause?
have government funding.
Oh, okay.
Everything that
You
we
do is from the
provide
people.
is from my supporters and myself. So
Okay.
we don't have, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we're in the process of doing the formal request for our charity number, and that
Okay.
definitely will help. And that's why I
Yes.
say I'm very blessed, because many people donate knowing that I don't have a charity number, but
Mm-hmm.
they see the impact
Yes.
of their donation. It's real time.
Yes.
They
Yes.
actually see the children opening up the Christmas gifts. They see the school bags arriving and the children posting thank you messages, sorry, back to us. They see us on the streets giving out the blankets of warmth. But definitely, I need to secure the longevity of it. Definitely, this is a step that we're working on right now to secure our charity number. Yeah.
That's right. Thank you. How do you balance helping others with your mental health?
That's a great question. So, I create space for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I take a time to kind of retreat, reflect, replenish. I've taken up a lot of activities for myself, like skiing, golfing, hiking, yoga, traveling, and spending time with my friends and family. That allows me to balance, you know, work, the charity work, and just my personal time. And I feel that allows you just to kind of, like I said, to restore and replenish. A lot of prayer,
Yes.
meditation,
Mm-hmm.
because without my faith, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I really lean into that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you don't take care of yourself, you feel like burnout. And if you feel stress or burnout, it means you also not function well to take care of someone or to think about helping other people as well.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yes.
And, when we give and give and our cup becomes empty, we have to restore it.
That's
So we
right.
continue to give. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who would say, I want to give, but I lack resources?
I would say, like we mentioned before, that giving is not necessarily monetary
Mm-hmm.
or material.
Yes.
Give of your time and your presence. Be in the moment. This is what, and just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can start just locally, like with a friend perhaps you haven't spoken to for a long time, or finding, like we mentioned before, perhaps an organization to volunteer some time with, mentoring another person. I think that I have to believe that as a society, we all have that capacity to give back in some shape or form,
Exactly.
and the ability to
Exactly.
tap into that. And sometimes in the stillness of the moment, it may come to you because our
Mm-hmm.
lives are busy,
Mm-hmm.
and we question, like, I'm so busy. How can I give back time? I think if you take a moment to take a step back and kind of reflect on
Mm-hmm.
you, who you are, you'll
Mm-hmm.
find moments, and you're probably already doing it and you don't even know. At work, when you take a moment to stop and ask a colleague, how was your weekend? How are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
We never know what that person's carrying with them. So that moment that you took to stop, say hi, may have been just what exact the medicine that they needed at that moment. And that's an act of kindness.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know?
As we are saying here, giving is not about monetary only, it's not about material only. There are so many ways of giving back. So each one of us, every humanity, will always have something to give, be it time, your presence. Sometimes just a phone call to someone, it will help them or cheer them up. Or sometimes you call someone who was at the verge of suicide, but that phone call, that random acts of kindness will change their thoughts, their mind. And then sometimes it's someone who is sick, just checking on them, they'll feel better. So no one would say, I can't give, because there are different forms as we are talking of giving, not only monetary and material. Sharon, how does generosity build communities and relationships?
So we kind of touched on that a little bit before, and it builds social connections
Hmm.
and that sense of belonging.
Yes,
And going back to that idea of it takes a village,
yes,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a power in coming together as a unit and functioning in the world and giving back to others. It's very powerful. And in that sense of belonging that there is something greater than you. I just want to, and it's very humbling as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's very humbling
That's right.
because we don't realize the power that we have just with an act of kindness, how powerful that action or that word is. And we have that within us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's within us. Yes, we
It's within
can
us.
manifest it and let it
Manifest it.
happen.
Exactly.
Yes, just knowing in this world, because we know there's so much hatred, but just knowing that we can extend our love, our support, our kindness, and generosity to someone, it makes a difference. No matter what race, what color, your
Exactly.
belonging, gender, race, anyone needs our help. So if we extend our generosity and kindness, we make a difference in our communities, in our relationships, be at work, be home, be at churches, be different
Right.
places.
And it also builds resilience.
Yes.
And you need resilience.
Mm-hmm.
This is a key to navigating life, resilience and faith, because when you are the recipient of an act of kindness, it kind of restores your faith that there's humanity, people care, So that's another thing when we do that kind of collective giving back, it really builds the resistance and that belief in faith that there's a higher energy or vibration that's amongst us. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. I
Yes, thank you so much. What would be your last words or message to the people, our viewers and audience out there?
think my last message will be a blessing to yourself and be a blessing to others. And life is so precarious and precious, and just navigate with integrity and kindness,
Mm-hmm.
and watch that ripple effect unfold.
That's right. Thank you so much. If our viewers or anyone who is watching the podcast and feel to that they need also to participate in the extending kindness and generosity to the organization, how would they find you?
Oh, I'm so excited. Yes, we love new supporters. Um, so you can just reach out to me at Sharon Pilgrim at hotmail.com. Definitely, that's a great way to reach out to me. And I definitely will respond and discuss our organization further with you. And we're always looking for various types of talents. Someone who can do web design, who's great with social media, who has amazing ideas of how we can expand our project. I think any type of help, time, advice, guidance, I am open because I think that that way we can just build. It becomes more of a community effort.
Thank you so
Mm.
much. What an incredible conversation with Sharon Pilgrims. Their story isn't just about uplifting stories, but it's about nourishing the soul. Please follow Afro Canadian Philanthropic Initiative, Giving Back to Grayson. Support their amazing work. And to those viewers who are watching this podcast for the first time, please subscribe. For all those viewers who are also watching it, maybe second time or many times, please share this podcast with someone so that we extend generosity and kindness, because healing is contagious and generosity takes away long away. It multiplies love, support, kindness. Just do an act of kindness. Give, give, give. It might be your time, it might be your smile, or just sharing this message. Just your presence, it might be monetary, it might be material resources, but please don't say, because I don't have money or material resources, I cannot give. Every one of us can give. As we said, there are different forms of giving. Sharon, Pilgrim, thank you so much for coming to our podcast. And to our viewers, you all have a wonderful day. We'll see you in our next export. Thank you.